Alright, guys, I am so excited to be doing this video today because as y'all have been hearing, as y'all have been seeing, it's really true that Square Enix is going to be doubling down on more multi-platform releases and doubling down in the Xbox ecosystem. And right here with this game, Visions of Mana, it is showing amazing. Gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, we are checking out Visions of Mana on the Xbox Series X. However, I do want to give a special thank you and a shout out to Square Enix for hooking me up with a review key of Visions of Mana. And let's go ahead and talk right about it. So, if you don't know, this is actually the first Mana game to ever launch on an Xbox platform. And that's why I am excited, shouting this, screaming it and celebrating it around Xbox specifically. Yes, this game's coming out on PlayStation and PC. It's already out there for those platforms as well. But this will be the first time in history that Xbox has ever got a Mana game. And this is huge, especially if you guys don't know the history about the Mana games. So if you don't know, the Mana games were actually intended to be Final Fantasy action games. That's right, the first ever Mana game was actually called Final Fantasy Adventure, and it was a Game Boy title that if you look at it and and you see how it's played, it'll kind of remind you of like Zelda Link's Awakening. Like, I'm dead serious. I'll throw some screenshots up here on the screen so you guys can get a gist of what it looks like and stuff like that. But the original Final Fantasy Adventure, which was the first game of the Mana series, it literally looked like a Zelda game. Now, I don't know if that was the premises or the style that Square Enix was, or Squaresoft at the time I should say, was going for, but that's what it looks like, at least to me. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. And throughout the years, more and more Mana games just came out. You have, I believe, Tales of Mana, you have Sword of Mana. There's all kinds of different Mana titles out there. If you've played any, if you do your research, just type Mana game in Google and there are plenty. I'm not even going to sit here and claim that, I've played them all because I haven't. Funny story how I actually got into the Mana games. My fiance, she actually played a couple of them as a kid. Her father, and her mother, I believe, they all played those as a kid. And she was actually telling me about this series. And one of the Mana games that got remade on PlayStation just a couple years back, and she was telling me about it. Grabbed a copy of that and a brand new PlayStation 4 as a surprise for her. That was actually my first attempt at actually trying one of these Mana games. I had actually really enjoyed it. And another remake had came out, and unfortunately I had missed that one. But once I saw Visions of Mana was releasing, I got really excited about this. And then I saw that it was launching on the Xbox platform too. And as you guys know, I'm gonna be straight up, I'm pro Xbox. Y'all already know this, man. We don't need to go about it. Nothing wrong with PlayStation. I own all the consoles. I love my Xbox, baby. We know this. All right, no need to fight and fanboy and all that. But once I saw a Mana game was hitting Xbox, I was like, wow, this is really, a phenomenal and exciting time in gaming. Because like I said, Xbox has never had one of these. They've always been, Game Boy, Nintendo-based games, and PlayStation-based games. And it just goes to show that Square Enix is starting to take the Xbox platform more seriously. And not only that, but I do want to actually harp on something in this video. I don't know if it's, done intentionally or not. I don't know if it's how the game was developed. But we have to be realistic here. Statistically, on paper, the Xbox Series X is more powerful than the PlayStation 5. 2 whole teraflops more powerful, okay? So that's not, just a little eensy-weensy gap. It's a decent chunk. That actually shows in this game. Now, thanks to, YouTube compression, capture cards, and OBS and everything, you're probably not going to see the fruit of that labor in this video. But I personally, as a guy who has played Visions of Mana on both PlayStation and Xbox, I can tell you from experience, hands down, that the Xbox Series X version is the superior version. Now, PC is most likely, going to be the version that trumps everybody, depending on the graphics settings and your build ring and stuff like that. But if you want something on console that's close to a very clear, flawless PC-like experience, the Xbox Series X version is the way to go. When I played it on PlayStation, the game looked great. It looked phenomenal. But once I played it on Xbox and I booted up the cutscene on my stream just the other day for the first time, I was like, yo, And I was looking at the cutscene. I was like, all right, maybe this cutscene is just looking clean. But then when I get into the game and I'm moving around, I'm looking at the water, looking at the environments doing the combat. I'm like, yo, this runs buttery smooth and, you know, just looks a lot more clearer than the PlayStation version. Now, I'm not sure, you know, if it's running at like a bit of a higher resolution or what, but the frame rate's stable on both games. I don't see many frame dips, frame drops. Play the game in performance mode. It is crisp, clean. But on Xbox, this game is just phenomenal, clean, fantastic. And guys, if you've never played a Mana game, and you know you're an Xbox fan, dive into it now. These were originally supposed to be, like I said, Final Fantasy action games, but somewhere in the process, I don't know all the history, they got converted to what's called the Mana series, which, you know, ended up being a sub-series of Final Fantasy. And I honestly think, you know, that inspiration is why we got some of the action combat Final Fantasy games that we got today. I think it's thanks to the Mana series that things like Kingdom Hearts exist. Final Fantasy 15 and 16, you know, while they're more action-based oriented games than, you know, than turn-based games, I think this game might have a lot to do with that. And, you know, the combat in here, it's marvelous. You can control any character you want. They all have different weapons, abilities, magic, elemental statuses, and everything. And the builds you can make in here, because the elemental traits that they're using in this version are just phenomenal. Now, it's Square Enix, so I don't got to talk about the soundtrack. You already know the soundtrack and the music, bump, banger. Always, you know, Square Enix delivers with RPG soundtracks. I don't even need to go down there. I've harped on graphics, gameplay. Like I said, guys, if you're looking for a new action RPG to get into, Visions of Mana, I would definitely give it a peek, especially on the Xbox Series consoles. Anyway, y'all enjoyed today's video, smash that like. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.